We don't know what's
6
happened
minutes.
here. No one can yet give a legitimate explanation.
But you're clearly implying that it is odd. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me your lunatic conspiracy theory about how odd.
I don't have any.
If you say to me,
I've been told by listen. I've been told by many experts in the last 36 hours.
There's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire
we just saw it in real time. That's it.
What?
That's why conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy.
You sound almost gleeful, Destin, and I'm sorry. That makes you, frankly, despicable.
I'm not going to get on my knees and beg for forgiveness or show sympathy to conservatives.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened. That's an egregious attack on democracy. Can you
chat? Why is this guy's panel always built like a fucking Jerry Springer show?
Do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell? Frankly,
not.
Destiny.
Absolutely not.
What is this woman even saying? She's not saying anything.
Former President Trump is the king of the political comeback, but even by his own lofty standards, the past 4 days have been utterly sensational. After coming within a hair's breadth of assassination, last night he made a stunning return to the spotlight of the RNC. And for once, the gravity of the occasion was not lost on him.
J. Trump.
We are grateful for you to be our nominee for the 47th President of the United States of America.
Well, Trump hasn't made an entrance quite like that since he descended the golden escalator in 2015 to announce his first run for president. Bandaged and emotional, he walked into the arena like a UFC star and got the reception to match. Well, the many people who've criticised security failings at his rally on Saturday were quick to point out that his detail this time round seemed to be made up entirely of strapping men. But the focus of the night was undoubtedly Trump himself, a man who now looks like he's seriously preparing for a return to running the country. President Biden, meanwhile, fumbled questions about his own incendiary rhetoric in the lead-up to Saturday's shooting.
Me next,
You called your opponent an existential threat.
Am I next?
A bullet point for me, chat. Make sure you get a lot of strapping men. Chat, please.
On a call a week ago, he said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There's
yes, please.
The context, but I think you appreciate that.
I didn't say crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was there was very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing.
Oh, a pathetic excuse from, frankly, an increasingly pathetic president. Let's be crystal clear. Nobody thought Biden was talking about archery when he used the word bullseye, and he knows it. The presidential move would have been to say that everyone, on all sides, needs to dial down their incendiary rhetoric. But this president hasn't looked presidential for a long time now. One positive move Biden's made in the fallout from the tragedy on Saturday is to finally order the Secret Service to protect R.F. Kennedy Jr. The last thing America needs right now is yet more political violence, especially involving a Kennedy. Well, in a moment, we'll meet tonight's panel to debate all this, but joining me now is the former counter-sniper in the State Department and the current Florida Republican Congressman Corey Mills. Corey Mills, thank you very much indeed for joining Uncensored. First of all, I can't think of anyone better equipped in the political world than you to comment on what appears to have been a massive failing by the Secret Service on Saturday in their duty to protect President Trump. What did you make of it?
Well, I just wanted to say I really loved your monologue just now that talked about the idea of dialing down political rhetoric on both sides, as well as the dangers of utilizing words like in the bullseye or, you know, regardless of what he says he went to indicate. It's obviously what he indicated was that he wants to put him in the crosshairs. But, you know.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Assassinated and killed a man who has credible
yeah,
threats
just say
against his
nothing
life
for
from
15
either
minutes.
side. The
Thank you,
bottom
man.
line is, Pierce, is that this cannot be about partisan politics. If this individual is running for presidency, if he can tangibly show that he's at risk, why would you not allocate the necessary resources to keep this man?
If the comment didn't even brush you the wrong way when it happened, don't act like it's a problem after the fact when something does happen, okay? Because then you look like some fucking hindsight herald, okay? That's what it is. At the least you can do is at least underline the word or the term being used and like, yo, that's kind of problematic. If after the fact something happens, then you could say, otherwise, you didn't see it coming. You didn't think it was a problem. Don't act like it's a problem after the fact. It's odd.
And safe.
Congressman Corey Mills, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pierce. Honored.
Well, join me now as commentator and streamer Destiny, host of the Dave Rubin Show. Dave Rubin.
Oh, guys. Oh, yeah. All
Who
the
is
political
this guy?
opponents are all on the same battlefield. Oh, my God. 5 days later, a riot happens where multiple people are gunmen on a... Oh my God, you knew it was gonna happen. Use the word battlefield to incite violence on a battlefield. We knew you did that. Yo, dude, what a fucking bad faith argument, brother. If you had a problem with the word battlefield, you should have said it when it happened, not after the fact. It makes you look stupid.
Co-founder of the Young Turks, Czech and the Outkick host, Charlie Arnold. Well, welcome to all of you. Czech we've spoken a lot about this presidential race over the last year. Where are we now with this? Is it right to assume that two things have happened as a result of this attempted assassination? One is that Donald Trump has got exponentially more popular because people feel a real empathy with him for what happened. And secondly, that Joe Biden is more likely than not now to remain the Democrat nominee.
Yeah. So there's no reason to unilaterally surrender to Donald Trump now, but that's what it looks like the Democrats are doing. So I hope that they pick up the campaign to oust Biden again, because he's clearly not going to win. All the interviews are disasters. I don't want to surrender to Trump, but apparently Democratic officials are considering it, which would be just keeping Biden in the race. That is a form of surrender, because they don't want to waste any of their so-called talent because they're so despondent about the race. I think that's pathetic. They should fight. And if they have a new ticket, they still have a perfectly good chance of beating Donald Trump. Now, I do want to say, though, there's a second topic here. Your interview with Corey Mills, Representative Mills there, I think it was dangerous and wrong. So you guys said, oh, well, you know, this shouldn't be a partisan thing and we should turn down the rhetoric. And then you implied that maybe the Secret Service or the Biden administration allowed the shooting to happen.
Well, no,
that's
nobody.
Nuts.
No,
That's not
hang
turning.
on. Nobody
you
implied
definitely
that.
did.
No,
you
nobody
definitely did, Pierce.
Well, I certainly did.
You kept talking about, well, look, I'm not saying conspiracy theory, but hey, it's so easy to find.
Just
Why
to
didn't they
correct
find it? And you didn't just say negligence.
Hang on, I didn't.
And forget about you, Corey Mills.
Right, okay.
He didn't say,
just
hey,
clear,
look, hey.
Okay.
He said maybe it's not just
negligence.
Maybe it's not just negligence.
I didn't.
What does
I
that
didn't
mean?
say that.
Is a lunatic suggesting?
Am I allowed to respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I didn't say anything that you've just said. Secondly, he did raise the spectre that there's something very odd about all this. And by the way, there is. I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. But the idea that the President Trump, who was recently the President of the United States and is very likely to be again, was shot from 150 meters by a kid with an AR-15 who was seen by spectators nearly a minute before he unloaded 8 bullets in the direction of Donald Trump is very, very strange. And if you don't think it is, then I think you're being a little bit disingenuous. Now, what is the nature? What is the nature of that strangeness? We don't know what's happened here, right?
But we didn't say anything.
People use the word kid. Okay, when it comes down to like the comparison to other people in said field. Okay, if you're coming to the music industry, okay, where people are a lot of them are old because they've been there for a long time. Somebody who's coming as a 20-year-old, they'll say it's a kid. Okay, that's usually how it is.
No, you're wrong. It's this guy and this guy are both like 50, 60 years old. So when someone that's 20 years old is comparatively just a child, right? Same with my parents. If they see a person my age, like if they see a man or a woman my age, they call them a boy or a girl just because they're old, right? Especially my mom does this. It's just because they're old. Comparatively, they're old. Not because of not because the position, it's because of the age. When you're 20 years old, you look like a kid when you're talking to a 60-year-old, right?
It's how they talk. I'm just telling you, so that you don't go.
No one can give a legitimate explanation as to why this could possibly have happened.
Pierce, if you say it's negligence, I'm with you. If you say it's malpractice, okay, I get it. 160 feet. Why is he on the roof, etc. But you're clearly implying that it is odd, as in not negligence, but something that was planned
I don't know.
by the government.
No, I'm not. I don't know.
Hey, get out of here, man. What the hell?
Yeah,
Jesus
so that's just
Christ with these lunatic
implanting your own thoughts into somebody else's opinion and pretending like it's what he said. That's just not what happened here. I mean,
guys, did somebody just jump in his studio?
Do you not think it's odd, Cenk Uygur, that this kid could stroll across a roof unmanned and just fire off 8 bullets at President Trump from 150 meters? Do you not find that odd?
So I find it deeply troubling. I think that there should be an investigation to see how they screwed this up. I think the fact that they didn't get
so they agree. What the fuck?
It speaks poorly of them. On the other hand, can we acknowledge that the Secret Service surrounded the president and would have taken a bullet for him and would have died for him? But all they're getting now is odd conspiracy theories about how maybe.
Actually,
aren't you implying? Hold on, Piers. You tell me. Aren't you implying that they let it happen?
No.
Aren't you implying that?
No.
Obviously. What does odd mean? What does odd mean?
No.
Go ahead, tell me what odd means.
I'll tell you what odd means. Odd means
the wording sucks.
It's not something that.
I'll agree.
It's something that should not have happened. That's an anomaly.
There is also degrees of negligence.
Right? Odd means that it's not in the norm, right? Normally, when this guy is talking, he would not have been shot at, and he has been shot at this point. So it's odd that he got shot at, right? That's what odd means, man.
Primary function is to preserve the life of whoever is president of the United States, right? And they allowed this roof to be unmanned.
Allow. You use the word allow.
Okay, somebody made a decision not to have that roof patrolled, even though, as
you don't even know that.
Hang on. Well, somebody did because it wasn't patrolled.
No, that's also not true.
Well, it is. So look, it is true.
Piers, we don't know the last time they looked at that roof. We don't know if they looked at it and then the guy crawled on.
It's odd that they didn't notice the guy, that he wasn't.
There was nobody on the roof from the Secret Service.
It was odd that he wasn't neutralized before he shot. That's odd.
So you're telling me
right?
that you know that
that's not normal.
Biden, Trump, and all the other presidents, that every roof had a Secret Service person on it in every rally. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Can you ever remember a president or presidential candidate who was a president giving a speech at a public rally where a roof 150 meters from his head is unprotected by Secret Service? Can you name once ever that that's happened?
How the hell would you, Piers? How the hell would you know that? You don't know anything.
I am told by.
What is this? These people are retarded, man.
You would have to
roll out.
You would have to roll back every singular rally location, every single map of the event and footage, and break it down to every. Nobody can make this statement. You just can't do it, because the reality is, I don't think anybody did this much legwork into studying this.
Nobody did.
I've been told by many experts in the last 36 hours.
Yeah.
Like that lunatic Republican you just had
so
on.
You can't win an argument just because somebody doesn't know
well,
everything all the time about everything. What the fuck is this type of argument, man? Okay, so you're wrong because you don't know everything all the time about everything. Yeah, okay, man. That's just a retard argument.
Protection detail for
Don't
Joe
pretend
Biden
like you do,
when he was
man.
vice president. He probably knows more about it than you do, with great respect. Unless you're about to tell me you are a covert sniper protector, are you?
No, I'm telling.
I mean, it's a bit of an appeal to authority, but whatever. I'll let it play out.
We don't know anything about when they checked the building. We do know that there was the red-haired guy who talked to the BBC. He told the cops. Then the cops showed up. It's not like they didn't show up. And so if you say, hey, we should investigate and find out when was the last time they did the perimeter check? When did they get on that roof? I totally agree. If you say negligence, I totally agree. If you say Trump was brave in that moment, I totally agree. But if you start implying, which you definitely are, and Corey Mills definitely is, that it was planned, or that it was so odd that it happened.
Yeah, the word odd is bad.
The Epstein thing was odd. The Epstein thing was actually odd. So the video camera's out. That makes me think, yes, there was something planned. I'm brave enough to say that. Instead, you're implying it. Corey Mills is implying it. So just say it then.
No.
Don't tell. What does odd mean?
Okay, again, I will say to you, I am not saying anything was planned. I'm not saying there was any inside job at the Secret Service to allow this to happen. I am simply saying...
You're implying that. You get that, right?
Here's what I'm implying.
You're implying that?
Here's what I'm implying.
That's what the viewer's going to think.
Here's what I'm implying. There was such a catastrophically negligent failure here by the Secret Service. I completely understand why so many people are utterly bemused that this could ever have been allowed to happen. The idea you have a perfect vantage point over Donald Trump from 150 meters at a public rally, given how divisive and polarizing he is, given how
he's oversimplifying the elaboracy of the fucking scenario in order to make his argument stick, and he knows he's doing it out of bad faith, which really sucks. It's just kind of lame.
Vehemently, some people hate him.
It should be.
Given the threats of
what do you
violence,
mean? You mean? Let me think. Do you mean he's over exaggerating? I think he oversimplifying that should have the opposite effect. If it's oversimplified, then it would have the opposite effect. Then it would have made his argument not stick at all, because then it's very simple to counter. Man.
On many occasions, the idea that that roof remained unmanned by Secret Service is to me very bloody odd, Cenk. Yes.
So you are implying that there is a chance that it was planned?
No, I'm not. I'm implying that
that's literally what you just said.
Literally what I'm doing.
Yes, that is an implication. There's a chance that it could have been an incident, but
and we need some answers.
That's just cherry picking if that's the case.
I have no idea.
If you only countered that small chance, then that's cherry picking.
We spent a lot of energy on this. I think, Jake, you have to go, so I appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you calling me.
Okay, just send them away before you get to sell your arguments. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Let me go to Dave Rubin.
Okay. Just send them away.
This is the problem. If you can't raise questions, serious questions about what's happened here, or
saying it's odd is not a question; it's more of a statement. Okay, saying something is odd, okay, is you know what you're doing. Come on, bro. Take some responsibility for your fucking wording, brother.
Suggest that
yeah,
he's odd,
that's true.
Without being branded a conspiracy theorist.
Okay,
you making it vague on purpose. That's kind of shitty.
I wonder what happened internally for this mistake to happen, and for actually shots to go through in such a well-secured perimeter. I question what happened, and I would like to know what would be the result of an investigation. That is saying. That's really weird and odd, and that looked convenient. It's a statement
by people like.
Yeah, I mean, saying it's odd, and then making a big deal out of that opinion. That's a opinion that means absolutely nothing, right? If you have something to say about this, don't say I think it's odd, right? Anybody can think this is odd, right? It's not every day that somebody almost gets shot on a former president almost gets shot. That's not every day, right? That's not normal. Yeah, that's odd, but that's not an opinion that really should be on here, because you're basically saying nothing. Everybody could have made that observation, right? This is just a shit. Why put me through a fucking hour if this is all you have to say?
Hugo, there's a bit of a problem, isn't there? I mean, it seemed to me, not just negligence. There's something very strange about this whole incident and how it unfurled. I have never seen members of the public, nearly a minute before a shooting at a president, raising the alarm and telling people the guy's on the roof. Have you?
Yeah, well, Piers, I haven't been on camera with that guy in about 8 years, but I'm just reminded of the brain-piercing, serious headache you get listening to him. You just laid out very calm and cogent questions as to what happened to the man who is the ex-president and could be future president of the United States. There was either a catastrophic failure, which we're all acknowledging,
call him an election candidate.
All we can do is
That's what he
ask
is.
questions. The red-headed guy with
Nobody
the visor
cares
who was
about what he
interviewed on
was.
the BBC saying
Nobody cares what he's going to be. He's an
minutes,
election
we'll find out the
candidate.
exact details on that. About 2 minutes before, where he was warning law enforcement that there was someone on the roof. Well, in 2 minutes, Piers, right now, I have an IFB in my ear. I have a microphone right here. That's what all of the agents around there have. And they're all connected to a network of people who are telling them where to look and what to do. I'm not an I'm not an expert in this, but we all know this. Corey Mills happens to be an expert, and your interview was quite good with him. So the idea that 2 minutes went by and nobody looked at the roof, and by the way, the Secret Service director is now saying the reason they didn't have anyone staged on that roof was because there was a slope on the roof.
It's nonsense.
And they didn't want one of their agents to get hurt. I mean, I've got got roofers out on my roof right now. There's a little bit of a slope. They have special shoes. They make it work. The whole thing is insane. But I would say at the political level, this has re-energized not just the Trump base, which was energized, but this new wide swath.
All we have is graphs and fucking like reiteration of the scenario or whatever. Yo, is there actual like pictures of what the line of sight looks like on the spot? At that point, Jake, I would like to make my own opinion, but because all I see is these people yapping it. Is there like a complete breakdown
of disaffected liberals and UFC
watch the video
and NFL
and then you break it down yourself?
And just good, decent Americans to
did you know how to listen?
That Donald Trump is not the enemy right now, and this fake.
There's a video on Fern. You watched that, right?
I saw the Google Earth photo.
You watched the video on Fern.
The line of sight of the people on the rooftop was to one side, big ass tree.
Yeah,
and other side, and
the tree could have been a factor.
That's what the photo that I saw.
But that's still definitely a fault if there's an obvious sniper spot on the roof and there's a tree in front. You would expect them to have somebody positioned who could see that spot anyway.
Just nonsense. I'm
sorry. And also for the current president of the United States to be asked, you know, do you have any soul searching about the language you've used, given that days before this shooting, he told donors that it was time to put Trump in the bullseye, and then he...
Hold on, I actually got a photo, so somebody linked it. Dude, if this is the actual setup...
This tree could have been in the way. See this?
I saw the video of the guy...
It could have been, maybe.
Taking a video, and the fucking building is different color. Oh, the guy's dead. I mean, guys, guys.
Yeah, I heard something about a tree that could have been in a way.
Is this the actual photo? Okay, I'll believe that as gospel then. If that's the actual photo, then that's a complete disaster. I'll agree with it.
He tries to dance his way out of this by claiming, I didn't say crosshairs, as if somehow when you talk about human beings, bullseye or crosshairs mean any difference. Obviously, he didn't...
Hold on. We were watching Visit earlier, remember? Look, the video is in there somewhere.
Oh, he did watch it.
Guys, where's it at?
On the roof of the building, several people... on the roof of a building close by.
Looking at beige looking.
It's too late.
Yo! Can't see it. Guys, I saw a fucking video where they look at the guy on the roof, brother.
Yeah, the sniper, you mean? The Secret Service sniper did look at that roof. I saw that video. But I didn't see the sniper guy himself. It's kind of beige, a little bit. It's in the shadows, so you don't really see it.
That looks more like it.
Yeah. It's kind of beige,
like
the wall.
Thing. That's more like it.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen the video, unless the video was mirrored.
This tree could have blocked
the guy was over
here.
Right?
It's over.
It's a video of the guy over here.
Yeah.
I've seen the video.
But he could have blocked it, you see? The tree could have blocked the line of sight here. Because this building was where the Secret Service was on.
And there seems to be a tree in the way.
Could have barely blocked it.
Correct or incorrect?
Barely.
I mean, dude, there is a tree. Whatever. I'm not gonna draw the line. I'm not some fucking telemetry fucking.
Barely, could have barely.
You would have to be on the roof. You would have to be on the roof to know. I can't make that. I can't make that call. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a liberal tree. It's the tree was in on it. That's what it is. It's an inside job, and the tree was in on it.
Mind. Who the hell knows what that comes?
Okay, I'm doing it on paint. You guys are so fucking annoying. I cannot believe that we're fucking doing this. Guys, I'm not some investigator, okay, guys? I'm a streamer, man. Fuck, man. Oh,
do it.
God.
Here you go. Okay, pick the line. Thank you. There you go. Pick the line.
Dude.
No.
The tree might have actually been blocking the view.
The
Guys,
tree is in on it.
Guys, a very educated Canadian Cégep education. Guys, there's a pretty good chance
Yeah, the tree was sniping.
it was legitimately hard to see. And then, yeah,
The tree was sniping.
I could definitely see that.
That could have been it.
Kind of language. We don't know yet.
That's still a shitty
about
job.
Any of the motivation.
Again.
Apparently, there's a kind of very, very strange. A very strange lack of information.
That's
that
not really
able to find out
excusable.
about these young
To
shooters.
have your view blocked by a tree if you're a professional
media machine,
protector,
mainstream media machine, and Democrat elite
sniper
that
guy.
for years, since before Donald Trump was president, have been calling him Hitler and his supporters Nazis. What would someone do if they truly believe that? I'm not directly.
Oh my God! Could be the angle.
Fucking bitch, man.
Thinking this to Biden's bullseye comment, as irresponsible as it may be, or anyone else's specific comment. But over time in culture, if things get normalized, yes, this man is going to put us in camps, and you can turn on MSNBC on any given day, and they're talking about how they're all going to be arrested and taken off the air, and what he's going to do to minorities and gays and everything else. All utter, complete nonsense. At some point, people might get a subtle message and then do something crazy. Again, we don't know if that was what happened right now, but we certainly can ask about it.
And I think to be completely fair, I believe Donald Trump has spouted a lot of very ill-advised and occasionally very dangerous rhetoric. And I want both sides to dial it down, because actually where this leads to is where it's led to. And in Britain, we've had 2 members of parliament in the last 10 years murdered by people.
Why are Destiny and this
reasons,
woman not saying anything?
Because, lunatics have wanted
man.
to eliminate them. Let me
I
bring in
came for
Destiny. You've been at the centre, as you know.
So let him talk. I don't care about this middle guy.
Online response to what you were saying, and I want to go through what you said, and I want to talk to you about this in a hopefully in a calm manner to try and understand what you were thinking. Man. So on Saturday evening, hours after the shooting.
Let him talk, man.
When I say conflicted, what I mean is I lean towards seeing it as a natural extension of the thing Trump and the MAGA kids support. So I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt enough to chastise people celebrating it. You couldn't find it in your heart to chastise people for celebrating the near assassination of a man who was president of the United States and maybe again?
Absolutely not. Conservatives have completely bled that well dry. And the idea that they, after engaging in the most divisive and most extreme rhetoric that this country has seen in recent history, that they would come on and beg for sympathy, that it's escalated to violent confrontation, is absolutely insane. Even the idea right now of saying, well, if you call somebody a Nazi for so long, it's, what do you expect people to do? I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh call Obama a communist every single day he was on the radio. You've got conservatives that talk about how the mRNA vaccines were ways to sneak microchips into us. You've got COVID lockdowns that were done because the government was trying to take all your freedom away. They won't acknowledge anything that happened on January 6th. They say that the election was stolen and that your country is being taken from you. Like, I don't think anybody should be killed. I don't think anybody should go out and kill anybody. But when you engage in this type of rhetoric and when you turn the temperature up over and over and over and over again, there is absolutely no room for you to be shocked or surprised. And there certainly isn't room for you to ask for sympathy.
But Destiny, you say you don't want anybody killed. And yet you say, I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt to chastise people celebrating it. It's people celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump. If you can't find it in you to chastise people who do that, aren't you just as despicable as the people that you've just spent the last 2 minutes haranguing?
No.
Guys, I hate the fucking... Guys, I hate slippery slope shit like that and fucking, if this happens, that happens. I don't like it. I don't like this and I can
man, this is just like saying, this guy, this murderer guy, he's a criminal. He steals money from people. Oh, I hate this guy, right? Why would I do that? I don't even know the guy. I don't care about the guy. The guy's never done anything to me. This guy is a non-factor. even if he's a terrible person for what he does and what he says, right? It's even less worse than that, right? These people just say they wanted him dead. They don't even act, okay? They just say it. I don't care about these people at all. Why would I make fun of them? Why would I chastise them? Why would I do anything with them? If there are literal nobodies, they're nobodies. Why would I ever chastise them? What is going on here, man?
I find it counterproductive. If you use the same
And I'd say,
logic,
yeah, I think
you can almost justify
these people,
anything that you want.
Trump shouldn't have been tried to be killed, right?
No,
That's
because
a bad
they
thing.
led the way. This is the
I don't
environment
care
that
when
they've
people say it's a
created.
good thing.
So you
They
think
can say that.
behaving like the people you think are
I mean,
despicable
they're wrong, but
is the
I do slippery slope arguments.
why would I
Let's
chastise
have
them
slippery
for
slope
that?
arguments.
course of action?
Not about behaving like the people who are despicable would be leading that type of rhetoric. It would be denying every single bad thing. How many times as a liberal? How many times as a liberal have you been on a show? Not you in general, but like a liberal been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM riots, disavow all of the violence and blah blah blah, and then you talk to conservatives about it. January 6th,
violence.
that was
That's
a false
good.
flag.
Yeah.
January 6th. Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
Wait. First off, there's an entire cultural machine that has lied. There is an entire
we just saw it in real time. That's it.
What?
That's why conservatives deserve absolutely zero sympathy for anything that happens as a result of their rhetoric. That's it. It's so easy. Like it's so simple.
I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but I would say this is the type of person that the internet has broke their brain, thus leaving them with very little empathy for their co-human. I mean, a good, decent father is now dead because of this. He's had his brains blown out because he was defending his wife and daughter. I would hope that you have a little empathy for that.
I can. Well, I can. Well, let me jump in there.
Okay. Well, I mean, in the same type of argument, couldn't you say? I mean, if you're talking about the January 6th thing, dude, it was some people injured in there or whatever, right? Like, dude, if you have this energy and this care about people, you have to do it across the board. If you have this. Oh, a peer was injured, a peer was a victim of violence. You have to do it across the board, brother.
Because we have a clip of what Destiny has said about that very thing. Let's listen to this.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am 100%.
I mean, I got to say, I just found that repulsive, Destiny.
I wish that there's no room.
Classic
there is
Destiny,
no
man.
room for the hand wringing, and I will not participate in this anymore.
Oh, it's not hand wringing.
The hand wringing. No, it absolutely is.
No, it's just that you are positioning yourself.
So well.
Is he on meth right now?
Conservatives can say
He has to be.
anything.
No, I'm not a conservative.
He's on meth right now.
They can have any plot. They can do anything, and then liberals are supposed to sit and be like, "Oh my God, it's so tragic."
No, Destiny.
Absolutely not.
Let me explain.
Absolutely.
Let me explain my position because I'm not a conservative. I'm not on either side in your race, right? Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman. You are
That's true. That's a good
somebody who
argument.
seems almost gleeful that a young
That's a good
firefighter
argument.
with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally, a man who was president of the United States until
it's kind of
recently for 40
surprising
years
that
and
this
maybe
guy,
again. You sound almost gleeful.
he
Destiny.
never
I'm
says
sorry.
anything,
That makes you,
so I assume he
frankly,
has
despicable.
no brain in his head.
I don't think
In
I'm
reality,
gleeful
he's
about
not
anything.
that
I don't
dumb.
think anybody should die.
He's
I
a
don't
pretty
think anybody
smart guy.
deserves to die. But you want to talk about gleeful? Look at the conservative response
Man,
to Pelosi's
he's just baiting.
husband. When they
He
broke
has
in,
to be
there are
baiting.
mainstream media
I can
figures
answer
that were,
that.
I don't care.
I can answer that.
With all
I
due
think-
respect, I don't care what your
Let me
answer
answer
is.
that.
The reality is that conservatives have been turning the temperature up on the rhetoric. They have been making fun of these types of events for years, and now when something happens to them, now they're looking for sympathy from the liberal side. Absolutely not. It's insane. It's unhinged
Yeah,
that you
but
can
here's the
conduct
problem.
yourself in such a manner
But
and
here's
expect
the
people to feel
problem.
sorry when things happen.
Why should anybody on the right listen to a word of your hectoring and lecturing about how they should behave. And by the way, for
I think call out every side, right, and still remain on the high ground. Okay, guys, I have a very black and white take about this. Okay, in my opinion, it's hard at times. Okay, to remain on the high ground because you do want to lower down and stoop to their level of saying, "Oh, dude, haha, this happens." But I think it's important to take a stance and be on the high ground and say, this is fucking dog shit. This is trash. We don't do this. Regardless. I know sometimes it'll hurt because you don't want to defend a side or another, and you have to take a nice stance. But that's what that's what it is to progress, to want things to be better. That's what it is. That's what it means.
Yeah, you don't take sides. Because there are no sides. You're all on the same side, man. That's what you do. You're all on the same side. But you go, man, you do pretend war. You pretend to have a war, so you can get out of the war and learn. Right?
All sides, and I'm happy to call it out when I see
but then
it.
people forget that it's a pretend war, and they treat it like it's a real war, and then they lose sight of what we really want to happen, man.
They have a fucking rough time. Oh, now they lost. They want you to say GG. You know what you say? And if you want to be on the high ground morally, you say, I don't give a fuck what happens. I always say GG. I don't give a fuck what happened to me, what happened to my opponents, my allies. I don't give a fuck. I think you should say GG and be good-mannered. Therefore, I say GG regardless. And if that's the sense that you're going to take, you have to stand on business, brother. You have to stand on business. You want to do it. It's going to hurt. It's gonna feel annoying to say GG when you don't feel like it. But you have to if that's what you fucking stand on business. Otherwise, you're one of these cocks that flip-flop and, oh, I don't feel like, oh, guys, but they did that. Oh, guys, but this time they did, but guys,
True.
Last night they were mean to me, guys, so this time I'm not gonna say GG. No, you say, I'm not a bitch ass. I'm always on the high ground. I always say GG, and that's who I am. And that matters a lot. That says a lot about who you are. Acting like this says a lot about you, but not in a good way, brother.
This great kind of standard bearer of decency who sees outrageous behaviour
take.
on the right time and again
Finally.
and is incensed by
Finally
this
a
disgusting,
good take.
inhumane behaviour. And yet time and again, since the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, you have displayed exactly the same kind of inhumane behaviour. Fuck him about a fireman who is killed because he attends a rally of a guy he wants to vote for.
My issue with the MAGA kids is not that they are not empathetic. My issue is that they support a president that led an insurrection against the United States. I'm not here to tone police over their empathy.
80
I'm just
million
saying that if you're
people
going to
voted
ask
for Donald
empathy,
Trump last time.
You said the F
that's
word.
Great. 80 million people voted for a guy that tried to insurrect the government, and it looks like they might try to do it again. I mean, like, I don't know what you want me to say. These are the facts on the ground. The idea that
So you don't like attacks on democracy. So presumably you would unreservedly condemn the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, because that's one of the most egregious attacks on American democracy in modern times. Presumably, you will take this opportunity, given you are so determined to protect the integrity.
Yo, Piers is gonna cooking. Yo, Piers is cooking. Guys, he doesn't cook a lot, chat. Guys, this might be mac and cheese. This might be a grilled cheese, but he's cooking it.
Democracy.
True.
You would find it absolutely outrageous that someone has tried to assassinate a president, right?
The thing about Piers Morgan
if the other conservatives
is he
of this show
doesn't cook a
want to
lot.
say
A lot of people cook a lot. He does burn a lot. Right? A lot of their cooking is burnt. This guy just never cooks.
And beg for
But when he does cook, it's not a lot, but he does cook. He does cook pretty good.
As an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
And with Destiny, he cooks a lot. He has a lot of hitters, but he also has a lot of shitters. That's what it is with Destiny.
Because look, they don't have it either. And when they do it to opposite side, well, we're not going to do it either because you don't have it either. And then you're going nowhere like that. You're not going anywhere. Where are you going with this? There's always a reason to go low, to go under, and to go deeper and lower. Why? You can be better, brother.
I won't. No, I won't.
You can't do that. You see, so why the hell? Frankly, Destiny.
Well, you can't admit to be wrong, of course. It's impossible if you're.
There's always a reason. You'll always find a reason. Look at all the fucking people that do bad things and atrocities and fucking even if they do fucking school shootings. Oh, dude, but bullying. Oh, but this, but that. There's always some reason to do dumb shit because you're fucking weak, and I get that, dude. But that's what standing on business means, that you don't do this shit, brother.
Yeah, but the thing with Destiny He says things. His entire life revolves around saying things on the internet and trying to have his opinion out there. And so when he's wrong, clearly wrong, and he didn't think about what he was gonna say, he can't accept this shit. So he doubles down, keeps doing this shit, says shit, dumb shit again, doubles down again, and he keeps just yapping without ever thinking back about what he said, man.
A reason to do the right thing.
Should we listen to a word you have to say?
Wait, hold on. Why do you think conservatives haven't been listening to a word that liberals have said about anything for 8 years?
Right,
what do you think is going to change?
they?
You think
But
that if
here's my
liberals
point,
come out
Destiny.
now and they go, "Oh my God, this was so horrible,"
But
you
here's
think they're
my
going to go,
point.
"Wow, that is true." Maybe
Wait a
that
second.
should also like.
Charlie,
Oh wait, this woman
I'll
said
bring you in at the
something.
end of this, I promise you, and you'll get a good
What
chance
did you
to
say?
respond. But here's my problem, Destiny,
Hello?
with your whole position.
What did you-
on this,
what
right,
did you say?
Is that you don't actually
I think
have
that's true.
anything inside you that
That's
you
true.
want the other side to have. You don't have any of the empathy. You don't have any sympathy. You don't care that someone tried to assassinate
I'm not
Donald Trump.
asking for
You don't
empathy
care
and
that a young
sympathy. You don't-
fireman
you
with a
don't need any
family
of that.
was
I'm not
killed in the
asking for
process. You don't
Just don't
actually.
support an
You are not
insurrectionist.
the person you want these other people to be, and all you do is play whataboutery with every question I give you. And I'm just startled.
It's
that
not
some-
what about it. We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the temperature of this country. But here's a question for the two panelists. What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric? What do they think the answer to that question is?
What percentage could it be that the other side, as we've just heard from Dave Rubin, has spent 8 years calling Donald Trump the new Adolf Hitler, a person who was responsible for the murder of 12 million people, including 6 million Jewish people in a Holocaust? Last time I checked, Donald Trump hasn't murdered 12 million people. So much as you would like him to be the new Hitler, he's not. But again, to an impressionable young deranged mind who has easy access to guns, that can be easily interpreted as an existential threat, said President Biden. Somebody that needs to be put in the bullseye, said Biden.
Okay,
Only last week.
Oh,
And guess
come
what?
on. You were cooking.
Comes forward and tries.
Chat, you know what this guy is like, chat? He's like the first TikTok we opened today, chat, of the guy who's cooking, right? And he's putting ingredients, and he's like, "Oh my God, what is he gonna cook? Oh my, dude, hold on, what is that? Is that fried rice?" And just bang, 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 and he just fucking smacks the fucking wok, man.
To kill
Yeah.
the existential threat.
That was what I was gonna say, man. What is he doing, man? He was cooking in. He didn't have to do anything. Okay? He was cooking by saying absolutely nothing. That's how you win against people like Destiny. You just don't say shit. Take a neutral opinion and you win easily. And now he starts to push it in his own mind, man. He's pushing it. He's burning his food, man.
You say Republicans
you want Biden
you say
to
that they are
disavow a
lacking in
bullseye
empathy.
Fucking
when
shitter.
Donald Trump was saying Second Amendment people could maybe do something about Hillary Clinton. Like, no, it's absolutely deranged. The double standard that's being asked here is insane. And you heard both of them say it earlier. How much did Donald Trump's rhetoric contribute to the current environment? Oh, not much at all. Like, no, yeah, I'm not going to say anything to these people. Of course not.
You see, Destiny,
Seem oddly unversed in any of the current events that have happened over the last.
I wish to just kick this guy out, guys. Guys, I know who this guy is, chat. Guys, I know what he does, chat. Guys, this guy is just not very smart. Guys,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe he's knowledgeable about politics or whatever the fuck. This guy is just not very smart. What he says isn't good.
Last couple of years. First off, politics is downstream from culture, right? And what has happened to our culture in the last 8 years? What has happened to our culture is that the mainstream media has lied about everything, always to the detriment of right-leaning people, whether it is the Russia hoax or COVID or Brett Kavanaugh's a serial rapist or the Covington kids are racist or Jesse Smollett was hoaxed, was lynched, or whether it was very fine people on both sides.
But he did it.
Every single lie always goes against right-leaning people. So they are slightly annoyed and distrustful of people like you and other people in mainstream media who lie about literally everything. So perhaps
literally everything, like biolabs and Nazis in Ukraine, or like mRNA vaccines that are causing 20% excess deaths. There it is. Yeah, or the fact that COVID lockdowns were going to go on forever, and it was just an authoritarian abuse of power. Or yeah, of course. Like, come on, dude. Conservatives are masters of misinformation, and it's happening right here.
All right, let me bring in Charlie. He's been waiting very
Charlie?
patiently. Charlie, thank you for being so patient. Things have obviously got quite heated quite quickly. Let me give you your chance now to have your.
Okay, here's my take. Anti-vaxxers are so scared of the microchip. The way they act, they already have the microchip. Don't tell them. Don't tell them that they're anti-vaxxers.
True.
They are anti-vaxxers inherently. because they have
True.
already gotten that microchip from something else. I don't know what gave it to them, but they already have it.
No.
Bro.
It's the microchip. Their parents put the vax in them when they were a child, so they have it from the vaccinations. That's what I know. That's what I know.
Find a way out of the microchip.
They're the people that actually know.
It's a microplastics.
Well, first of all, Destiny represents to me
From the milk carton, it's the
left. I won't call it
the spa water, the Coca-Cola. That's what it is.
Saying exactly what they want to hear, and if they don't say it, then you all of a sudden are the problem. And they handle it exactly like he's been handling it on the show. It's like a child throwing a temper tantrum. You can't get a word in edgewise. They just kick and scream and yell until you ultimately say, I've had enough, just say what you want to say and back down. And that's exactly what we see a lot of times from people on the left. And it infuriates me, because just like we saw on Saturday with the near assassination of Donald Trump, which that is exactly what it was. It was an assassination attempt, yet we have, Dave, like you mentioned, all of the mainstream media putting out egregious headlines such as from CNN, Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president and crowd, which completely mistells what actually happened.
Hear it. This is the conservative. This is the game right now.
It is not accurate.
It's the lies right now. You know Fox News ran that same type of
first
headline,
of all,
right?
we are allowed in this country to ask questions.
The news
there was a lot of things that were very off on Saturday.
Right, in a way.
From the way that the Secret Service handled.
This is some cringe.
But that's just troll. The headline is just troll, man.
Ask questions. Here's my question. Don't you find it odd that this footage happened at the same time as this happened, on the same day and position of the sun? Don't you find it weird? I'm just asking a question. Holy shit! Shut the fuck up.
You know, I love this country. God bless. I guess. Yeah.
You can see. There you go. He immediately resorts to
here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, here we go.
That is exactly the childish demeanor that I'm speaking about. On Saturday,
don't talk over each other. Let me just ask you this, Destiny. You were asked on that clip we played earlier if you'd have the same attitude if it was your parents who'd been killed at a Trump rally. And you replied, it's less end-of-life costs for me. Would I lose sleep over it? No. Do you understand how grotesque that sounds?
It sounds grotesque, but the environment that we're in right now is grotesque.
But why do you want to sound grotesque? I don't understand.
You cannot engage in behavior that leads us to this point, that brings us to the precipice, and then say, wait a second, wait, are you taking this a little bit too far?
So just to be clear, hang on, Dave. Just to be clear,
because of what conservatives have said.
Just to be clear, Destiny, if it was close members of your family or close friends who had gone to that Donald Trump rally and who'd lost their lives, one did and two are critically wounded, if they had died there, you would lose no sleep over that. Is that your position?
No, of course I would be sad. It would be tragic, of course. And the closer they are to you, the more sad it would be. The same way that if you had a child that, tried to rob a store and the child got killed by the police, that would also be tragic and sad.
So you wouldn't think, you wouldn't think fuck them because they're your family then? You'd have a different rule for your own loved ones?
Yes.
Would I feel more upset if a person very close to me died rather than a person far away from me died? Yeah, I think the answer there is yes.
Yeah, but you weren't just just to be clear, you weren't just not upset by
the reason is these people that are close to you, you have a very concrete image of them in your mind, okay? People that you don't know, like Trump, right? I can only base what he is on what he says on TV. Other than that, I don't know the guy. All I know is he's the election candidate, and he's controversial. He says some funny things, and he's conservative, okay? That's what I know about a guy. And he's rich. He's pretty funny, okay? That's what I know about the guy. I have no emotional connection to these things at all. I don't give a shit. If he were to die, well, it doesn't matter to me, okay? Well, I can say it's sad and tragic, because people are going to be sad and tragic, and his family isn't going to like this, right? But for me, I don't even know the guy, right? All I know about the guy is some abstract things. That's all I know about the guy. With my family, I know everything about them. Almost everything, right? When it comes to when I see some kid gets murdered on the street. Okay, I can say that's sad and tragic, but some kid is all I know about this kid, right? That's all I know. Is that sad and tragic for me? No, of course not. I don't even know them. Is it sad and tragic for somebody? Yes, and that's why it's sad and tragic, okay?
That firefighter,
that's how it works.
Who's given great service as a firefighter to his country, you would gleefully...
It's a terrible question, brother.
Because I have no attachment to many things that are outside of my family. Most of the attachments that I have are inside of my family and friends, right?
No, you don't. No, you don't. The reality is you don't. If your father died of something that happens in other countries, would you cry today? Probably, maybe even tomorrow, right? So it's just trash arguments. Say, oh, well, don't you think it's different if somebody? Well, of course it's going to be different. What the fuck is this?
Full, and you said fuck him. Fuck him.
I'm not. It's
would
not
you
about
say
being gleeful.
fuck them if it was your family and friends?
How many times did you cry today that people die of dehydration in the fucking deserts, in impoverished countries? How many times did you cry today? Are you still crying? Are you crying right now? No. I would assume that 90% plus of Americans cry 0 times because of impoverished countries, people dying of dehydration. If your dad was in the desert right now and couldn't say anything and just died of dehydration, would you cry? Yes, you would. That comparison dialogue is not doesn't do anything. Doesn't it's irrelevant. Don't even bring it up.
He was a Trump supporter.
I would say that if they go to a rally like this and they support an insurrectionist president and something happens to them, I would feel sad on a personal level because they're my parents. But again, I learned from them more than anyone else. I grew up in Nebraska. You learn that if you mess around and if you do dumb stuff, that there are going to be consequences.
And would you think? All right. And would you be happy to say, you know what, fuck them, about your own parents?
Exactly. And I wouldn't say fuck them either. Exactly. I think you can absolutely just say, yeah, that's trash. That shouldn't happen. That sucks. Regardless, I think you can have a take, right? Which is that sucks across the board at all times, and you're always going to be on the correct side. It's not really hard.
Yes.
Is it hard? I've ever heard
it's the NPC take, yes, but it's the good take.
He is saying you should have no empathy.
Just because something is the normal
unless you're rage
comment take doesn't mean it's bad.
Views, being a fucker, or
it's bad content. It's bad content, but it's not a bad take.
Right?
You can just say you feel about this, and that's it. Right? You don't have to make a big deal out of this. It's just that's it. You don't have to make a big deal out of a take that's completely normal. That's why you have these people, these schizophrenic motherfuckers on national TV that have these ridiculous takes, and that's how they get views, right? If you have a normal take, the only way you're gonna get views is if you're called Penguin Zero or Charlie,
Joe Biden had been shot at and had part of his ear
or
blown
Piers Morgan.
The very people calling for unity right now would be calling for the rest of us to be put in jail. So there's a strange asymmetry there.
Anytime there's a talks, chat, guys, this just replace this camera with this. This is this guy talking the whole time.
As well.
And I would ask this.
The strange asymmetry was Biden trying to make a phone call to the wife of the killed firefighter and her rejecting the call and Donald Trump not even reaching out, okay? That's the asymmetry. When you talk about it's just politics, this is the cancerous brain rot that conservatives have fooled everybody into thinking. It's not just politics to think that vaccines will kill you, okay? I've got 3 dead family members from COVID. My mom won't get a vaccine, okay? After both of them were in the military. These guys went up and down.
I'm not vaccinated, thank God. Nobody
Don't worry, we can all tell. We can all tell.
God.
My parents went up and down a line when they did basic training for the Air Force. They got 20, 30 vaccines each. My dad has a vaccine injury in his shoulder, and the idea of not getting vaccinated was unconscionable to them until the conservatives spread these messages that are just politics.
Let me ask you this, Destiny. Let me ask you this,
Destiny. Science has shown that the vaccine actually was one of the worst things you could have done for yourself. Thank God I didn't get vaccinated. I thank God every single day I didn't get vaccinated.
Let's not get. I don't want to get. Look, I don't want to read. I don't want to get back into COVID. I don't want to get back into COVID, right? Hang on, Charlie.
Asymmetry of it all.
Hang on.
You can't rewrite history, okay? We cannot know how many people would have died. You can make some numbers up, but to these people, okay, you can't rewrite history, or you cannot have a redo. Okay, cannot tell exactly how many people would have died if the vaccine wasn't there, whatever, right? But on the opposite hand, what's even more important to prove is how many people did die because they got the vaccine. And they come, whoa, we got some evidence about some guy, like, his brain has been getting ads, like, mid-conversation. Like, clearly the vaccine gave him some, like, Neuralink ads.
Charlie,
like,
I don't want to get down into COVID
like,
yet. I want to stick to this story.
Like black or Chinese.
What are you on about? Elon Musk, who is responded to one ex-user who was calling for him to demonetize it on the X platform.
After sleeping.
And he said,
You need
"You're
to
right.
pay to
This
sleep.
is not appropriate content for advertisers because of the offensive tweets you were aiming at Trump supporters." What is your response to Elon Musk?
The same response as it always has been. Elon Musk is a thinly veiled, I would say, like, anti-woke, anti-SJW, basically right-wing supported guy. And if you say things that they don't like, of course they'll demonetize you, they'll cancel you. Conservatives are some of the least principled people in the universe when it comes to freedom of speech. As soon as they have any power to demonetize or spam report somebody's, sponsors or anything like that, of course conservatives will jump onto it. My account also was
Elon
demonetized,
Musk is
I think,
mostly,
like 12 hours. Thank you
he
very
says
much,
he's for free speech, and he censors a bunch of people. That's not how free speech works. If you say you're gonna turn Twitter into a free speech haven, right? He just lied. He just lied. Twitter is a shithole and it's worse than it has ever been.
I pinch you, right?
It's just as bad as it was before.
Or I give you a pot of pills, okay?
But he briefly fixed Twitter for 3 months, and then he fucked it up again, and it's still complete dog shit.
Which one do you take? You take the 1 minute pinch?
So is YouTube, so is Twitch, so is Kick, so is every other single platform on the planet. They're all fucking dog shit, man. They're all dog shit. So is Google, so is every search engine. They're all fucking shit, and they censor a bunch of shit because they don't like it. Because they're a bunch of fucking tyrant bitches, man. Fucking bitches. They don't like when you say stuff, so they censor you. That's what they do. That's what they do. Fucking bitches.
Guys, life is rolling the dice. Okay, on everything.
Yes.
Just roll the dice that has more sides. That's it. Every time.
Yes.
Just don't take fucking coin flips for no reason. It's that simple.
Again, here's what I think we're all struck by. Your position seems to be that anyone from Donald Trump to his supporters who represents their thinking, their ideology, their political views, that if they are killed by an assassin at a rally, then they deserve what's coming to them.
Nobody said deserve,
and in your words, fuck them. I mean, do you not understand that to most decent Americans and to decent people around the world, that is incredibly offensive and makes you look like a two-faced hypocrite, somebody who wants the other side to behave to a certain level of decency, but is himself incapable of displaying it.
The conservatives don't have it in them to have that level of decency.
So why don't you rise to a higher bar? Why don't you yourself show them?
Okay, so Destiny didn't say he deserves it, but I understand that he's playing the fucking same wording game as like be on the edge to draw fucking bait and draw people to get mad, because that's what Destiny does, dude. He antagonizes people, brother. He's gonna say, guys, I'm not even his behavior because I know what he's doing. He's just making everybody mauled by using every word except the one word that's over the edge, okay?
Show them the promised land, Destiny. Show them the way they should be behaving.
Have been doing it for 8 years. There's nothing to be gained there. So instead, we'll just have a laugh instead. When you're asking for this type of decency, you're saying, like they did for Pelosi's husband, like they did for BLM people, like they did for the endless. He didn't die, but he got the crap beat out of him with a hammer, and they made jokes about his gay lover.
Yeah, and by the way, the jokes were disgusting. Why can't you say the same thing about the people making mockery of Trump? Why do you join the mob?
It's not just the jokes. It's the underlying substantive analysis.
This guy lost the argument as soon as he said it. Well, he didn't die. He was trying to downplay it, like violence is, oh, well, it's not death, so no, dude, he lost the argument right there and then.
It's the lack of responsibility for January 6th. It's the lack of responsibility for the Gretchen plot. It's the lack of accountability for all the comments made about BLM protesters, George Floyd.
Because violence is trash regardless. I don't give a fuck. Any political motive, whatever the fuck. if it's violence, I don't give a fuck. I'm against it. That's it. I'm not gonna hear anything. It's not because, well, he didn't die, well, he didn't lose a limb, but well, he didn't bleed. I don't give a fuck. Don't do violence.
Yes.
By your yardstick,
good take.
All of these.
But by your yardstick, what the Republicans should do in response is simply say,
Otherwise,
fuck
go
all
live
of
in the
them.
ghetto, man.
Fuck
They
them all.
already
Who
are.
cares?
Pierce, that's what you're not understanding. Pierce, listen to me. This is what you're not understanding. You keep bringing this
I am
up. You're like,
brave
well,
in the
Destiny,
current
you
day
act
and
like
age.
this.
Man,
Aren't
go live
conservatives
in
treated like
fucking
you? And then you say a thing.
Afghanistan or Iran. Go live
I
there.
absolutely am brave, because that's a brave thing these days. These days people say, oh, breaking in, looting. What do you mean, dude? Like that?
Go live
that's
in
fine,
some
man. That's just
African
protesting.
war-torn
Yo, I
shithole.
always
Then
declare
you'll
it, and yet people
understand
say, oh, you're wrong, dude.
why
Look,
we don't do
no,
violence in politics
it's
when it's
actual
within a country,
brave
right?
stance these days to say don't do violence, and you guys know this. You guys know this.
But they've done this for 8 years.
Right, so
They're
the
gonna
other side
continue
is
to do it.
the other side is horrendous. Therefore, I'm going to be even more
It
horrendous.
is.
It's so
That's the
unprincipled.
horrendous part about the conservatives isn't just the rhetoric. It's the underlying factual denial of reality. That's the biggest. That's the huge issue. That's the big bad
Let me
part.
bring Charlie. Let me bring Charlie back to respond to that. Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the opposite. I think that, Destiny, you are completely fueled solely off of emotion, whereas I think that, I'll say conservatives, even though I think that it spans past conservatives, when they look at the facts of the summer of BLM, the BLM movement as a whole, January
I think
6th,
she might be right
the
here.
assassination attempt, when you look
Yeah,
at
she's
the
right.
facts,
Come on.
things unfold before your eyes, and they reveal
mute.
themselves to be actually what they are. There's a lot of evidence that has come forth since all of these events in the past have occurred. And they have shown that exactly what conservatives were saying were absolutely correct. Just like the assassination attempt on Saturday, we look at what went wrong. We look at not only was this one rooftop unguarded, but how did the gunman know that the rooftop was unguarded? Why was it that local law enforcement alerted the Secret Service moments before shots were fired?
There it is. There is actually a very good question.
Do you think January 6th? Do you think J6 was a false?
It's not a question, man. Oh God. Yo, why do they always fucking disguise their bullshit statement as a question of? It's not a question.
Flag.
I think January 6th, there's a lot of discussions to be had. I think there's a lot of facts that came forward.
Fuck
They're
these
definitely.
guys. I will never give sympathy to this side. These guys are destroying the country, dude. This is unhinged.
There were agents.
There were a single thing to decide.
Chat, don't you guys? Guys, here's a question, chat. Don't you think it's kind of weird, chat? That look. Don't you think it's kind of odd that like we had that over there like that? And it's just really weird how like this guy was just like abusing the brand new head glitch on the roof. It's kind of weird that like they saw the guy, but he's head glitching and whatever, and it's just got released. So like, dude, okay, brother.
Present, we know for a
Destiny,
fact.
here's your problem
There
with
were
me.
agents present on January 6th. We saw
You're
the
making a
tourists
statement.
being ushered into the Capitol building. They're being treated like terrorists. And in fact, several months ago, Vivek Ramaswamy said it's only fair that we're able to have a decent conversation about all of this.
let me say
and
what
in fact, we're not able to have a conversation about anything because of people like you.
Let me just say what I think about January 6th, because I wrote it at the time and I believe it today. I thought it was a shameful attack on the heart of American democracy. It was an attempt to thwart democracy taking place. It should never have happened. Everyone involved in any violent act that day was utterly shameful. Donald Trump's rhetoric that day was appalling. All those things are completely true, Destiny. I can happily subscribe to that.
Neither of your other guests.
It's important to hold that energy for the fucking January, whatever. Dude, anything like that, you have to be against all of it if you're going to take this stance. I'm not even fence-sitting it. I'm not fence-sitting it, okay? You can't just say, oh yeah, all of that and all the Republican shit and all the whatever. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, oh my God! Did you see that this happened? Let's talk about it for 3 whole segments. Oh, the other like massive events, yeah, I guess, yeah, don't do that. All right, moving on. So, like, dude,
here's the thing.
Neither of these
you
guys
have to show that you're not biased.
But here's the thing, Destiny. If I'm a Republican listening to you, I'm thinking, hang on. This guy thinks we're all disgusting. We're reprehensible. We have no empathy. We have no
Goal.
And yet he himself is proud of being even more disgusting.
Goal. That's the analogy.
And then I would say, wow, well, nothing has changed from since before
There you
COVID,
go.
before the vaccines, before J6, when they thought the election was stolen, when they thought that we were forced into lockdowns for no reason, when they thought that George Soros and the World Economic...
Chat, guys, we had the ping pong theory, chat. Now we got the goal conundrum. Now we got the chat, link it. Now we got the new.
And the
it's the
IMF
goal
banks and everything were
conundrum.
taking over the country, and the Federal Reserve was devaluing our currency. Like, it's
Okay.
all the same. Nothing has changed.
Let me ask you this.
I'm curious. Wait, can you ask
one
these two
last
guys?
question,
Do they agree with
Destiny.
any part? Do they
One
agree
last
with
question
any
for
part of
you.
your characterization of J6?
Destiny, one last question for you.
But
Are you pleased that Donald Trump got shot?
Am I pleased? No, absolutely not.
What is your emotion to the shooting?
Okay, so
My
goal
emotion
conundrum.
is-
Goal.
Emotionally, what? In terms of
When
his
they
personal health,
don't
is
apply
absolutely
it
different.
across the board. Across the board, okay? When they don't apply it equally
Not here, not on
across
this
the
program, not in front
board,
of these people.
you get,
do not condemn
and then you get goal.
deranged
Goal.
shooter.
You get goal. That's what you get.
Man, the chat, guys, I cannot back this behavior up, chat. Guys, you remember I said earlier, sometimes it's gonna suck, sometimes it's gonna make you look like a loser if you say GG, and sometimes it's gonna hurt, whatever, right? This is one of those times where I know, you don't want to take a knee or whatever, but it's what it means to do better. Is that against them, against the public, against Piers Morgan, you say, yeah, I still do the right thing. Yeah. It's not called standing on business. It's called being a fucker. Okay, you're being a fucker.
The shooter shooting Donald Trump.
No. Not here, not on this program, not in front of these people. Absolutely
You do not condemn a
Not in
deranged
front of these
shooter
people.
shooting
You are
Donald
truly
Trump.
just a child. This is not.
Actually,
this
it's
is not
not.
a
No,
competition
you know
here.
what,
We're
Charlie?
just trying to be decent
You
human
know what,
beings.
Charlie? It's not actually the behaviour of a child. It's the behaviour of somebody who's completely lost his moral compass and any sense of decency.
You're right. A child wouldn't.
And I'm going to go to Dave Rubin. Dave, let me let Dave Rubin respond to what you've just heard from Destiny.
Not one viewer wants David Rubin to say, oh, God.
I mean, it's actually one of the most disgusting things that I've ever heard in my life. My entire staff in my studio right now all gasped at that. When I happened to be at Target, the store Target we were checking out when I saw it on Twitter, and my heart actually sank. And I know that is
oh, God.
the feeling of probably 200 plus, if not 300 plus million Americans, even many of whom would vote against Trump and do not like Trump and all of those other things. The idea that you can't show sympathy or empathy for that is so profoundly sad. I would also add one other thing here, which is that
Everybody
the reason you're so emotive and screaming beyond the Red Bull, and dude, just ease up, man, it's not healthy for your heart, is that you really don't have good arguments, so you're petulant and screaming as opposed to just trying to work things out. We're allowed to ask questions about these things, but I would hope
Penguin
that you would try, as Piers is pointing out, instead of always reaching for the lowest common denominator and they're bad, so I'll be worse, I would hope that we could try to be a little bit better than that. And by the way, I think that you're seeing that right now at the Republican National Convention. They're not going crazy over.
Oh, God.
Skip.
Dave Rubin at Target when he heard the news.
Over all of this, they're applauding the fact that Trump's there. They're rallying around the new VP choice, and I think you're going to see a wide swath of America that maybe didn't come out for Trump before, and they're not traditional conservatives.
I totally agree.
I think you're going to see them support Trump.
I totally agree. And I would say to you, Destiny.
Nothing is more emblematic of the situation than the fact that the VP choice is a guy who's also said that Donald Trump is like Hitler.
Yeah, I would say
perfect cherry on top to everything.
For it and said he got it wrong.
Yeah, I would say this to you, Destiny. Lester Holt asked Joe Biden last night, has he had any soul searching? Right. I think after this debate, you may want to just go away quietly and think about some of the answers you've given and think about the double standard of demanding a certain pattern of behavior from others that you do not sign up to. And you may or may not take my advice.
Spoiler alert, he did not do that.
Standards.
You may or may not take my advice. I'm just saying, on reflection, you might conclude that the best way to persuade other people to behave in a better way is not to behave in an utterly degrading way yourself. That's all.
I think deleting a YouTube channel only takes one click, Destiny.
Right.
Yeah, right after you, Dave.
Okay.
And
guys,
it's out.
corny,
Thank you,
brother.
editor. Oh, it's here.
This guy is so cool.
L'Empoli, 4 dei nostri in barriera, Bairami il tiro, gol. Gol di Bairami. Leao prova a mettere questa palla in mezzo. Salta Rade. Gol! Ballo Touré! Ballo! Ballo! Ballo, ballo, ballo senza respiro. Ballo, ballo, ballo che si...
I think it's a good example. I think it's a new example, chat. It's a new example.
Go on.
To show bias in reporting and reactions to when bad things happen. Fucking... Dude. I'm a fence sitter, okay? But conservatives, when violence happens, and then people do some really dumb shit and a bunch of people die.
4 dei nostri in barriera, Bairami il tiro, gol.
Oh, that sucks.
Gol.
Gol di Bairami.
Sucks.
Leao prova a mettere questa palla in mezzo.
Shot fired.
Rade.
One shot fired at a rally.
Gol! Ballo Touré! Ballo! Ballo! Ballo, ballo, ballo senza respiro. Ballo, ballo, ballo che si... L'Empoli e 4 dei nostri...
Anyway.
Go on.
Okay.
The line is here.
Caricature, okay? It's a fucking... I'm dramatizing it, okay? Relax.
That's the line. Right there.
What was this? Hold on. Oh no, earlier there was a link earlier. I want to see about the actual like setup that they had at the thing at the shooting thing. There was a bit of breakdown. I will play a game in about half a second. Just dropping to remind you of the rest of the world that you're scum. Here's hoping that Alk in his brave, but I don't know what that means.
Man, oh man.
Does that mean that he's a hypocrite?
Yes.
Oh, but that's the guy who burned it. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
xQc's.
That's a decent video. We got some new, really very interesting political idea from xQc. I think he might be the genius of our age. I think he might be the new Plato, the new Aristotle. I think that might be him. He's him.